Live.
Hello and welcome to the Pixel Podcast. My name is Matt, and I'm coming to you from rainy California.
Whoa.
And I'm also here with Ethan.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
And Ricardo.
We're coming from you. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the end.
Coming from me?
Yeah, coming for you.
Hulk Hogan.
Want the gold, sucker.
I'm coming for all your asses.
Classic.
They're coming to you from rainy California as well, but a different part of it. Because it's a large state.
It has or 3 states. We could have had 3 states, guys, but then the court came and was like, no.
Was it like 5? I thought it was a lot more than 3.
It started off as 5, and then I think it went down to 3.
Either way, the Supreme Court was like, no.
No, that's a lot more. That's gonna cost us so much money. Stop that.
Don't do that.
We gotta redraw all the maps.
We have to make a new flag.
This one's
Got
got
stars on it.
this
Two
one's
more
got
flags.
this one's got bear, and then every part needs a flag too. What
What
would
if
the
what if
flag of Southern California be? Like the
Just be a
lower
surfboard.
area.
Be like a 6 surfboard. Like,
no? Because that would be that could be the Northern California one too, with Santa Cruz.
Too much, man. It's almost like we were the same state at one point.
The Southern California flag should just be a sun.
It should just be Mickey.
yeah,
Just like corporate. Oh, it's a corporate. It's like corporate. So you're saying this is like
Gentrification.
cyberpunk future.
Well, it is Hollywood in it
last-
too, so it should have some like movie references,
right.
like maybe
a sun and a film reel.
It
There
should
you
be it should be the cover of Orange County, starring Colin Hanks and Jack Black.
Yeah, great. Yeah,
There
great.
you go.
Great.
What's
It's a great
Central Valley?
movie.
Or Central California?
Oh, fucking
A corn.
Just
No,
a
not
bunch
not
of
corn.
A corn.
It'd be a fruit basket. Realistically, it'd just be like a bunch of fruit
A
baskets.
sign. No, their flag is just a sign that says Congress created the Dust Bowl. Like,
There you go.
like complaining about water. Like different flags complaining about water usage.
That's true. That's
And then
good.
Northern California would be
still. They can have
a beautiful city that's been destroyed by gentrification and techno futurist nightmare.
So a bear with like a cyclops. helmet.
A cyclops
VR
helmet
like
on,
a
a
VR
cyclops helmet
helmet
on,
There you go.
walking past a homeless person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
That would
That's
be
good.
that would be.
I feel like we got more cynical
gonna
as
say-
the flags went on. Like, it's-
Sorry,
Yeah,
that was mostly me. I've had a bad week.
Aw.
We had a vacation last week. That's why we were gone.
Yep.
And now we're back, and I don't want to be back in the real world. I just want to not do things.
It was
Is
great
what I
getting
like
up
to
and
do.
being like, well, I could do something today, or I have plenty of days not to do something, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
not do something.
And then this weekend I gotta do a lot of things because I have things to do because I'm an adult now, and it's just it's not the same as just eating a bunch of food, waking up and just deciding to eat a bunch of food or not.
Or just eating food because I don't know why not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was life.
This was good times for a couple days there.
You know what else was good times? Was hanging out with you guys last week.
Oh, we did do that.
That was
also
pretty fun.
it's true.
Played a bunch of games, a bunch of party games. We played Jackbox Party Pack 5. Which,
Woo! Woo!
already-
Should we just
already
get
talked
into
about-
that?
yeah, let's go.
Sure, let's just get into the games we've been playing. Which
Jackbox Party Pack 5.
I mentioned earlier on the podcast, but now you guys got to experience it.
Yeah, I think we ended up playing all the games, even Zeeple Dome.
Even Zeeple Dome, which we did
Uh,
not last. I don't think I've seen a full round of Zeeple Dome.
Well, the thing is,
in-
we
in
did
any
get
source
interrupted in the
format.
middle of that too.
Yeah, it's true.
People did get in it.
Yeah,
but
peop-
still, I probably would have just said like,
It would. I would have finished that one and been like, "That's kind of neat." I don't need
Yeah.
to play any more of that right now.
Yeah,
there's always
I
a couple- there's always one or two
appreciate-
stinkers.
I feel like that game was created because somebody you don't know Jack was like, what if we didn't make a board like a party like a board game and made like
Something
a
with,
co-op
direct
or
something.
action.
something that like I'm an engineer and I'm tired of making like menus like what amounts to menus.
See, now, remember how I remember you can, one of the criticisms you had with the PlayLink games is you have to download an app, but like I feel like that game would have, though not worth downloading an app, probably would have benefited a lot
That
from downloading
almost
an app.
certainly would have
And-
worked better with an
because
app.
you
Yeah.
just feel that lag every time you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
definitely
it was
had
hitting
to-
some web server and then hitting, like it wasn't just using it. It
You
wasn't
had
just
to
working.
lead a little bit more.
It
and
wasn't native.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite as easy to like do the snap because basically the idea is that you play as these little Zeeples, I guess, guys, and you're fighting against these different targets. And when the targets are like gray, anybody can hit them and knock them around. But then once
Do
they
damage.
once they basically get down to enough health, they change color. And it requires a specific Zeeple to like finish them off, essentially. And then there's power ups that different colors can pick up and like help out the other characters. And when like stuff synced up and worked well, like there were some pretty cool like
Moments.
ricochet moments with
Yeah.
people getting knocked around and stuff. But it is again like when it's
It's
like
a little too
okay,
laggy for the
Blue,
action
get
game.
the guy, and it's like they're all the way on the other side of the stage, and there's no easy way to like quickly get it because it's like you have to make sure you line it up and then have a clear shot, then it reacts like 2 seconds after you let go. So it was interesting, but
other than that, I enjoyed every other game that we played.
yeah,
I don't think that there's really two stinkers on there. I think that's the only one.
Just one,
I'd say
yeah.
that the other one that's the weakest, ironically, is You Don't Know Jack. Not that it's the weak, not that it's a bad game. It's actually not, but I think this is just a really strong overall package.
And you've seen You Don't Know Jack like multiple times before, and it was in the
Yeah.
first party pack, and then of course it's
Yeah.
a standalone game before that.
See, I like You Don't Know Jack so much that actually what I would consider the second weakest one, it's only because it forces the room to get into a completely different mindset than they normally would, is Split the Room. Because like Split the
Interesting.
Room is very much a game that's not about make it like haha fun, like make your jokes
Right.
like haha funny, or like
Yeah,
do
it is a serious,
Like, you
quote
have to
unquote-
kinda-
quote unquote serious game. Like, it,
you have to kind of know to a certain extent the people in the room, because there's even
Yeah.
like basically, like I think Ethan talked about it last time, is they come up with a prompt, and it's like you have to come up with a solution, like an answer to that prompt, which you think will split the room into like
between one choice or the
positive
other.
negative or
Yeah.
whatever.
They give you a choice and a fill in the blank
Mhm.
for like what the choice is, and you have to try and make it as a controversial within that within
and
your
the more you split the room, the higher you get. And then even in later rounds, you have a specific person that it's like, what do you think they'll answer? And then you have to predict, and you get bonus points.
that was
for
that was
too.
one, that was probably one of my most joyous moments playing that game, though, was when everyone voted. I put a thing in,
Mhm.
and then everybody voted against that except for Fallon, and Fallon was the one person that I guessed would definitely vote for it, and I just felt very proud of myself, even though I didn't get as many points as I could have gotten.
Yeah,
there.
that game is definitely more of a game, but so is You Don't Know Jack, but you just didn't have as much.
But
fun
like
with it.
that's
You know, Jack
that's-
is just picking the four,
it's,
the
it's
questions.
trivia.
It's trivia.
Yeah,
It's
the
trivia,
the split the
unique
room
questions.
requires you to think.
I
you
like
know.
Split the Room because I feel like it opens.
I do
up-
too,
it-
I do
because
too, I
think
love it.
I think for me it opens up a lot of arguments and like makes you think. And if you can,
And
be
you
funny,
love
that's a
arguments.
bonus, but like it's like it forces you to kind of think of interesting questions and stuff. Like
Yeah.
that to ask.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too for the same reasons. But I agree with Ricardo. I think they're all very strong. Is the end point. I think I love You Don't Know Jack as well. So I would gladly play that
Mhm.
as well some more. But yeah, that one. I think it's the two standouts. I think that everyone agrees on are the Robot Rap Battle, which I can't remember the real name of that. And
Mad Rhyme City.
Mad Rhyme City.
yeah, that sounds right. And then
Patently Stupid.
Patently Stupid. Yeah.
Those are
Patently
both
Stupid was
really, really
great.
good.
It's definitely good hearing people's dumb pitches. The rap battle is tough. It is a tough one.
It
That's
is
probably the
definitely.
hardest game, but it is rewarding when you feel like you've done a good job.
Mhm.
I feel like you definitely need a lot more people in that, just because otherwise it's like you work really hard, you get like 2 funny sections, and then it's like, oh, got to make more now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely best when you have a lot more people. and
Yeah.
just go through
This-
them.
And it's also by design too, but I felt frustrated sometimes with it's like use a verb, and then I would use what is
verb.
a verb,
And
but
then
it would
it would-
totally not make
Yeah.
sense with what like is
Yeah, it's
happening.
like a
And
verb,
that's
not
what-
ing
and-
verb,
yeah,
that's what they do.
yeah, and it's like that's the point. I get it, but like I would just be like, that's now this whole thing is
Well,
gonna.
and the thing is that
flat.
sometimes it will like better communicate to you like the specific type
Yeah.
of like
Yes,
adverb,
sometimes it's
like,
very
the-
specific,
or
yeah.
noun that they're looking for. But then like
I
sometimes
like those
it's
much
like
better.
it's like noun place, and I was like Dubai, and it's like meet me at the Dubai, and I was
Yeah.
like that's what try.
Yeah,
But then,
And I
but then
think-
that's the thing is that then you have to, then it forces you to have to roll with it and make a
what
stupid
I
rhyme.
started
Yeah,
out of
doing-
that.
and I think I did the exact opposite, where it said noun place, and I wrote park or something like that,
Uh-huh.
and it said like I'm going to park or whatever,
Yeah.
like instead of going to like a location. It's like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not.
yeah.
What I did is I would use suggestions to kind of gauge what they wanted me to put in there, and then I would.
Oh,
That's
you
a
don't
really
have
good
to fill
idea.
in the suggestions.
You hit the suggestion, it gives you.
And
like, a
it
couple
fills it
different
in, but it doesn't like submit. It.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought you
That's-
hit. I thought if you hit suggestion, it just gave you
Damn,
one, and that.
life hack.
I would have just done it anyway because the first word doesn't matter as much as the second rhyme anyway.
I think everybody had their moments to shine in that one,
Yeah.
especially when
When-
one of our friends put in an emoji and then it ate the emoji, so it forced him to actually just yell at the screen what the
That was pretty
emoji would have been.
I don't know what. I don't know what he thought was going to happen since it
don't know,
reads out the text if it like was going to like.
I think the game Use Your Words actually uses emojis, so I think maybe you got confused by the one. game that
Yeah,
does
Use
that.
Your Words definitely allows emojis, but at the same time, it's like there's so many emojis now. It's like
Which ones will work? Which ones will be the
which
little
ones work
square?
and which ones is like square
Yeah.
with a question mark.
Yeah.
And then I love Patently Stupid. I think that
Stupid is
the
great.
creativity. I think that hits the perfect creativity between like improving your stuff yourself, but giving you very short prompts that you don't have to like
And
creatively
drawing
write a
and
ton. And
games
yeah.
stuff. And I like that there's also a game element in that, and it's not just literally just be the most funny. In that, like you can also, if you invest
Smartly,
at
yeah.
the end, like you're
So
still
I almost won a
doing
game
well.
just even though I didn't get like almost anything funded.
But you were like picking the
I was
ones
picking
that
the
were
ones I
like
knew everyone else
successful.
really
yeah.
liked. So
Yeah, it's
Good-
cool.
good pack. Good pack.
Really
I
good
think.
pack.
I think this one they kind of broke their every other streak where it's like, oh man, every other Jackbox is good.
No, this is
No,
the
because
one.
it's-
This continues that streak.
supposed to
What
be
the
like
odds are
odd
good. The
ones.
evens
Yeah,
have
you're
been
right.
bad.
4 was bad. 4 was okay. 4 wasn't that great. You're
You know, I think 4 breaks that streak the most because it's like okay, whereas opposed to like not good, which is like what 2 was. 2 was not
What
great.
did 2 have? Fibbage?
2 had the bomb game in it.
That game was okay.
It had Bidiots,
oh,
two had
yeah,
Bidiots.
is not
where you like
great.
draw the art and then bid on the art. I think it had Drawful,
Too complicated.
or it might have.
It had Bidiots. Wait, go up.
Is it up there?
It had Bidiots. It had the Bomb Corp. It had Fibbage 2.
Uh,
Oh, it had
Fibbage
Quiplash.
2.
Oh, I did. Yeah,
They
but
introduced
Quiplash was its
Quiplash.
own thing too at that point. Remember, and then they put it in there, so it was like, but it was still a good
I
like.
thought Fibbage was its own thing, and then they were like, it's Fibbage 2.
Here's the
It's the
thing, though,
same
is like
thing.
what's weird is that both of those games, the good standout ones from that, because there was also the sound one.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 good games, Quiplash and Fibbage, went on to be in Jackbox 4 and be better for it because they had like the ability to put your own stuff.
I
in.
think
So
Quiplash is in 3 as well.
it's Quiplash is in 3, yeah. The-
Quiplash XL is
Quiplash
in
was the other
3.
one that was in
But Quiplash
2,
2 is in. Quiplash 2 is in 3,
which
I think.
was
I don't know.
okay.
Quiplash, I think it's called Quiplash XL is what the one
XL's
in.
in 2, from what I'm looking at.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
it doesn't matter. There's a lot. There's a lot of
Whatever.
Jackbox. And I think
Either
2 is
one.
definitely the weakest.
Look, they're all decent in their own way.
Yeah, they're all, none of them have nothing of value in them. None of them have nothing. They all have something of value in them.
I've never. I
Um,
don't think I've ever played 4.
I don't think I've played it. I've seen all the games. I've seen the monster dating
Yeah,
game
4
and the.
Yeah, 4's fine.
It's got Fibbage.
Four's
3,
got good
it's
games
got
in it.
the what is it? Monster Seeking Monster.
Fibbage 3,
yeah,
Monster Seeking Monster, which
Civic
is
Doodle.
weird.
Survive the Internet. Yeah.
Survive the Internet's good. Oh, I've played Survive the Internet. That's pretty
Probably
good.
the only
Played
good
it.
one.
I've never played any
Bracketeering,
of the games.
Bracketeering is all right, but you have to be in the right mindset for it. All these other, I feel like the 4 is just more of a niche, kind of like you want to be in the mood for. These
Yeah, like
specific
Monster
type of
vs.
games.
Monster is actually a cool game, but it is like a full-on game where it's like you gotta know the rules and like be thinking about what you're doing and like thinking about what the other players are gonna be doing and like that kind of stuff. But it's not like a party game in the same sense of just like do a thing and make it funny. Like,
Yeah.
Sheffield.
Anyway,
but 5 is great. 5 is definitely
solid one.
one of their I think one of their best ones. I think 3 was previously the top spot for me, but
You know
I
what
don't know.
dis-
5 is up there.
Disappoints me about 5 though is you don't know Jack new format where you can have more people, but it kind of takes away from the episodes that were in 1. I mean, it's more replayable, but like 1, I kind of
Yeah.
like the episodes. They had the wrong answer of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had
The wrong answer to the game was such a great
It's such a great
thing,
silly thing.
because I always would forget it, and then like it would come up and be like, no,
And it's like, oh no.
and then especially when you and that game also wouldn't tell you the wrong answer if no one got it.
Yeah.
So like
Be
you,
like, you missed it. You could play
Yep.
it again, I guess, or figure it out. But like, I don't know. I like those, but and also like the 1, 2, 3 like little things.
The little, like,
numbers
intros.
and then every so often it'd be like a completely random one, depending on the episode you're on.
well, yeah, I think at one point like one of the numbers kills one of the other numbers, and then that number is just gone from all like the question still shows up, but that number is gone from the rest of like.
pretty
And
funny.
and the number that killed that number is like in jail in the next animations for all of it.
I
for
do
all of
like,
its
though, that
like
the-
stuff.
all the really, because like this one has it be as like a streaming service.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, that's
where-
pretty good.
and like the dumb videos that like pop up down below like as the like next on episodes or whatever, like the videos, like suggested videos, are all really fucking stupid and funny.
I like the concept too, because it's current events right now with Neon Genesis Evangelion and getting a re-release on Netflix of like, I think the intro is something like, we resurrected another old franchise to fish out, to farm out to you or whatever, like here you go, like Binge Pipe, great, like
Binge Pipe.
Binge Pipe's also a good bad fake streaming service.
Yeah, it's a good name.
It's
good. Also referenced in other Jackbox games in that same pack.
It's like they're all in one universe. The timeline of the Jackbox games is actually not what you think. They're not told in order. The story is actually Legend of Jackbox.
In Mad Rhyme City, there's some graffiti that says "Cookie was here," and it's like, that's the guy that hosted the You Don't Know Jack.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's true. What's the guy that hosts Quiplash? He has a name because he tells you at the beginning of the.
Was he like I'm Smitty or something like
that?
Yeah, Smitty.
Smitty something. Smitty something.
Smitty what? Oh man.
Smitty what?
Hey,
oh no!
Had a week for SpongeBob.
I didn't mean to even.
No,
that's how it's just so ingrained in me. I'm just like I hear it and it could be a SpongeBob quote and I must quote it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very sad.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, moving on to more great goofy garbage games, which is Nippon Marathon. We played.
Yeah.
It's like
Snoogaroo.
It was on last time show
is
track.
using fruit to go faster. We saw a trailer for that like 2 weeks ago, I think, on the last episode.
Announced, I bought it, so then we.
Bought it, and then we played it. It was like $8, so I was like, I don't know.
And so this is like we surmised, it's a physics-based like racing game, foot race game, with like random elements like Mario Kart, where you pick up, go through blocks to get weapons, and then you could throw the weapons at each other. You could eat the weapons for speed boosts or whatever.
Except for the mushroom.
Yes,
don't eat the mushroom.
And it's also kind of similar to like the Micro Machines games.
Yes.
That like basically you're trying to be ahead of everyone, so far ahead of everybody else that they kind of drop out of the race, and then if you're the last one standing, you're awarded a certain number of stars, and then if you like finish the game, finish the race with more stars than everybody, you get more points and stuff. And there's also a lot of weird arbitrary ways you can score points in the game. There's like random.
Yes. Because there's two kinds of points. There's like these stars that you get, which will add to your score at the end. Then there's also your popularity in the race,
which is
determined by like it's a modifier.
Yeah,
It's a multiplier. Yeah, it's a multiplier at the end. So your star is equal to a certain number of points plus a certain number of other achievements you might have got, plus and then times by the modifier, which is your popularity. So yeah, like doing a bunch of stuff like hitting people with the right item, or not using other items because they're not popular or something like that will give you.
Like, the game is absurdist humor. So like there's there's a newscaster. What's her name? Jetty. What's her name?
Weddy. Her name's Weddy. Weddy Jones. Weddy Jones. Weddy Jones.
Who like has like a guide somewhere in the game that like tells you different parts of the level and like what's popular in that and the other.
But and like maybe some hints or things like that.
But also she'll appear in one of the like mid-race mini games. So at certain points during like a race,
randomly, it's completely random.
Yeah, just at random points, it'll trigger like a mid-race event, and this could be you get
teleported to the other dimension.
The bunny doctor like puts you in a maze, and then
he's like, "I'm running experiments.
Yeah,
get to
finish first." And he's like, "Hey, Roo." And then there's the slot machine, which is just pretty basic. Like it gives you
get an item.
Yeah, it gives you an item based on your spin. And then there's one where Weddy comes down.
Rocket packs down,
and then down, and she asks you a bunch of questions, and kind of you have to answer them sort of. To like piecemeal to put together a sentence, and then like their preferred answers based on the location that you're racing at too. So it's like it's a ridiculous game.
It's all ridiculous, and all the answers are very like they're probably real Japanese, but they're very like, you're not gonna know what this is. Like, and I would put all these words up on this like what do people like to do on dates in
Well,
this
and
area? And it's like they like to eat this fried with this,
Yeah.
and then go to this, and it's like none of them make any
Well, and the
sense.
thing is that there's also like 4 choices, and then you have very little time to like choose. So like at some point, I was just like choosing random.
Yeah.
things.
Also, once one person chose one of those answers, other people
you
could
couldn't
not
pick,
choose.
yeah.
Could not
Yeah.
choose them anymore. So you only have one choice to get it right. The actual gameplay itself is like like you just run. You get the items. You avoid the many hazards that
Yeah.
are running around, and then you jump over things and duck under
Shiba-
things.
Shiba
Inus,
salesman,
Anything.
cars.
geishas, or
Geishas.
Maikos.
So I will say I liked the aesthetics. I like the style of this game. I like the kind of random humor of it. It was very Japanese and kind of a full way that kind of expect from Hidden My Game by Mom. But actually
Mhm.
playing it, I was a little less thrilled because I think it does the whole like wobbly physics where if you get knocked over,
Yeah, your character's just like
flops over.
ragdolled on the
Well, I
ground.
feel like that's fine, but there's almost like I feel like it goes too far in the place where you don't have control at all. So it
Mm.
almost feels a little bit too random at times, or like at least in Gang Beasts, it's like yes, it's random, and it's like got a lot of goofiness to it and weird physics. But like for the most part, you can keep control of your character. Like it's a little floaty, but like this game just feels really floaty to me. I'd run into walls, your character would instantly fall down just by tapping a wall. Sometimes I didn't know the hitboxes of anything, so that made it harder to hit anything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think this game actually has a similar problem to Gang Beasts in that the camera is the biggest part of a lot of those things.
Yeah.
I think the floatiness is fine once you know the layout of stuff, but first time running it through a level, it's hard to see sometimes. It's pulled back pretty far, so it's kind of hard. Which I don't really know the solution to this too, because if you pull it in too close, then you're not going to see obstacles before you get. So
Exactly.
it's not an easy fix either way. But the camera's pulled back pretty far, and you're overhead. So like there's a log that you have to duck underneath, but you can't tell if that log is on the ground or if it's
you
like
should be
above
jumping
the
over or
race.
ducking.
So I
My-
wish
Yeah.
I have 3D TVs. You know?
My biggest issue
Yeah.
with that situation was that like the stages sometimes would not be super obvious, like where was the next place to go.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
part of that was intentional because like you can go sort of off the beaten path and
You
like,
can,
and-
yeah.
and like still sneak up like in the lead and stuff. But then there was like straight up ones where it was like not clear whether you're supposed to go down or up the stage.
Yeah.
And I went down and it's like no, it's that way, and there's like no real arrows or indication.
Yeah, there could have
An
been.
on-screen prompt that's like beep boop beep boop, like this way would have
Yeah.
been maybe more appreciated. But
Yeah,
I mean, at the end
I
of the
think
day,
those are small quibbles for this what the game is going for.
well,
I
that's
think
what I'm saying. At the end of the day, like the point of the game, I feel like it's not to be this big super fair like super.
Yeah, I don't know. I
tight
kind of
thing.
feel
It's
though
supposed to
like
be goofy.
after a while, I kind of saw the shtick they're going for, and I seen it all, and I'm like, okay, that was good. I liked it.
Mhm.
And now, if I want to play it, it's like, well, I don't really want to deal with the gameplay, and the shtick stuff isn't. It's gonna kind of repeat. Like I noticed the lines were repeating.
Ah.
And
I definitely feel
I liked
I
it.
definitely feel like the length we played the marathons, like doing a couple of marathons, I think is good for a single play session. But then we also played the other mini games in there, which is like I was gonna say pretty standard bowling mini game. But
Yeah,
it's not,
sure.
but it's not. But it's not
Not.
really. It's not
the
really.
points are standard.
So basically, you're setting up a shopping cart to head down a ramp to a bowling to.
but it's
like,
using the same weird wonky physics
Yeah.
engine.
exactly, and then like sometimes they'll put obstacles or ramps, so like it makes different frames harder, and like you can go down separate from your cart, so that can like
Yeah.
help but also hinder, or you could just like jump in the cart and that seems to give you more like forward momentum, but then it's like you're still spinning like wonkily down this lane and just kind of praying that you make it to the vague area that you launched yourself at.
Yeah,
And then there's like a wipeout style obstacle course where
just single player at a time at least.
yeah, it's like it's called Lobster, but it's like horse, the basketball game, in that like you basically have to at least match the person before use like distance, or you'll get a letter, and if you spell out the entire letter, you're eliminated.
Which was just ERI.
You're eliminated. Yeah, which for the game we were playing was that. I'm guessing I believe you can put it to whatever.
Oh,
way
you can put it
want.
whatever in. Okay.
Yeah.
That one also had a great mascot character that I'm sad
Yeah,
I
I
forgot
can't
the name
remember
of.
what his name
They have
Characters are good in this game.
the characters are all
Again,
good.
there's a lot of
all
things-
the individual characters have a story mode too,
Yeah.
which right now currently in the game only Snuguro Maestro, which is the dog, has a story. But in his story, which has like full cutscenes and everything, you meet the other characters. So I played a little bit of that on my own and got introduced to Elizabeth. I can't remember the girl who's just like a narwhal.
Oh, yes.
She's not a unicorn. She gets very mad if you tell her that she's just like a unicorn.
Yeah.
She's a narwhal.
There's, I believe, Handsome Hanzuki or something like.
Handsome
that.
Hanzu is he's the villain, I guess, or
Yeah,
the
he's kinda
antagonist.
he's the best.
He's the best one that you gotta be able to beat.
Of course, Weddy is in there as well, doing
Weddy
her-
Jones is trying to get interviews with people.
doing her interviewing. Yeah, it looks like
yeah.
most of those other characters, there's like 4 main characters that you can play as, and then you can unlock some of the other.
Yeah, you can
characters,
find
in the
unlockables
shop.
in levels too. There's
Yeah.
actually like pieces of paper from that Weddy's guidebook are like in the level, which
I
you
believe
like find.
I believe I picked.
think
one
you
up
did,
one time
yeah.
And ate it, and I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know what that did, and then I guess it gave us a.
Oh,
taste
that's
or whatever.
cool.
But like, then you also get yen at the end of levels, so then you can use it to buy stuff in like different modifiers or again new characters to play as in the in-game shop. So it's cool. It's a neat little game. A neat little
Yeah.
party
It's
game.
pretty good.
I think it's good. I agree with you, Ethan, with your criticisms. I just think that like it's just dumb and chaotic.
Yeah,
And like
I
I was just laughing the entire time we were playing it because it was less about the lines and the humor is funny, but then it was more about just like everybody else, like someone getting bonked on the head and like slowly sliding off a cliff, like like while they screamed to try and get back up off the ground, and like somebody else like eating the mushroom at the wrong time while they're in first, and like just like
Or when,
flopping down on
like,
the ground.
Or when just the physics would go completely crazy and launch you like
Yeah,
I
that
would
was
get
fun.
launched off
Yeah.
the map, and it's like I guess I just lost that one because the game decided that I was dead. So,
Yeah, that stuff is just great.
yeah.
But it's not the most broken physics game that we played when we hung out together
Are we
because
ready to talk about this.
I don't know. Are
We're
we?
done the hangout sesh, so yeah, let's do it.
I think that we have to talk about The Quiet Man.
So
We
that was an
spent
experience.
what 3 hours probably playing The Quiet
3.5
Man.
hours.
It was about like.
You know what's sad
3
though is I
and
think
a
all the
half.
best parts we saw in the
maybe 4
trailer, to
hours.
be honest. Not like all of it, but like at least the parts. that we
When
got
you
to
say best parts,
Yeah, what definition are you using for best part?
Is it like
stupid or very stupid? Like all the
very
dialogue in the
stupid.
game we saw.
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's because that is literally all the dialogue in the normal version of the game.
and
That is all the
then-
dialogue.
And the whole like, hey, check this out, bro. It's like, nah.
No.
It's like, I don't know. Those scenes are.
Do you know what? Dialogue's old hat, man. What I like want to watch is 10 minutes of quiet cuts of 10 minutes of two people talking to each other in a room.
So
It's like-
both rub our
it's-
foreheads. Like,
It's definitely just like this thing of like, this was definitely not a decision that was made early in development. I think this is a decision that was made very late, possibly even after it was all done, because none of that is shot like, let's tell this story visually, like where
Yeah,
no one
none
will need
of
to
it.
know if what they're saying. It's like,
It's
nah, this is just like
literally
a
like-
dialogue saying two people sitting next to each other, talking at each other, and we just watch nothing. We just watch this happening. It'd
literally
be
like-
boring with the dialogue.
It's
It's
literally
long.
like you put the movie on mute in the background because like you need to focus on something, and then you just forgot to remute it. So, put the
Yeah,
sound
like,
back
on-
on, and then
But
you're
there's no
just
subtitles
watching
to let
it,
you know
and
what's
it's
going
just
on, you know, because usually when you mute something, subtitles pop up. So it's like,
Yeah, especially when the conceit is you can't hear anything because the main character is deaf, but he very obviously seems to understand a lot of what's going on
and he
around
says
him.
things too, which it's like you think
Yeah.
you'd be able to at least like hear the vibrations of you talking or whatever.
No, you just hear.
Yeah, like weird, like kind of like synthy sounds, like
And Matt and Ethan, they can't actually have you know what the story is because then you'd actually have no reason to replay it again because you know the story because pretty
because if you want to have the Quiet Man Answered edition,
much you have
you
to
better go ahead
The
and
whole game.
play that whole game a second
Twice.
time. But then I went home and I was so mad about The Quiet Man that Amber and I watched a YouTube video of the second version of The Quiet Man because I just had to freaking see what it was.
I almost did.
I had to hear. What
I mean, there's a lot to unpack here if we really want to, but I will say that part of the reason,
I need an outlet.
But part of the reason for that is also because we put the game on. It was Matt and then some of Ethan playing.
Yeah, when I got really mad, it was Ethan. It was Ethan playing
the low difficulty, like because I think there's
two difficulties,
story and then there's not story.
Yeah, so we put it on the one that
the story is so good that I don't want to get
the story, and the gameplay is so broken in spots that it still made it kind of difficult and for sure not fun to play.
One boss fight in particular, for sure. There's like most of the combat is mash the X button and you'll just win. And then if you want to do something fancy, you press left trigger and you get into this like rush mode once you've got enough hits or blocks in properly, and he'll do a pre-scripted like attack.
It's mostly just bopping guys on the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like actually fun.
Just like
finally seeing like what that, because they have like this like quiet mode or whatever where it's like
the quiet mode.
You can like do this like freeze time or slow it down and like the camera shifts and you're like, oh, do a thing. Honestly, the gameplay not good, but it was better than I thought it would be.
Really, man, because it was abysmal.
I was pained watching it. Like
I had low expectations, and I was.
That was the other. That was another thing. Like, there's just so much to talk about, but like the camera was
awful. The hit detection was terrible. The clipping was bad. Sometimes the enemies would not be physically in place when I was attacking them, so they'd be like flying around off screen. Like
you're like teleporting around the screens when you go in the little quiet mode, and then
the hush mode.
Yeah, and then do like a big special move to somebody. Now suddenly they're in a different place, you're in a different place, so there's no like continuity in terms of like if you're fighting a group of enemies, like suddenly you'll be over here when like you were normally like in between them. It's just such a mess. Like
it's a complete mess.
It's such a fucking mess of a game.
It's what's one? Okay, let's talk about the nice things about the Quiet Man. What's one good thing?
Oh my god, is there?
I will say
I laughed a couple times. I laughed a couple times.
Transitions from FMV to video game is a nice. I like that transition.
That wasn't awful.
I like that.
It wasn't awful, I guess.
Honestly, if the game wasn't moving and like if you're just standing there, it looks all right. Like I don't think the graphics are awful.
There's a lot of lens flares. The lens flares can cover up a lot of good.
I will say here's the one positive I will say. And, maybe once the sound's on, this completely goes away. But I will say that guy, I got to commend the guy who played Tay. Because I feel like he's really acting. Yeah, like he's
that
really
actor.
Acting. Like
no, whether
really
in the actual
answered version.
the answered for the sound version, he's also still going for it. And I think actually does a decent job with the terrible material he is given, because it is bad.
I was gonna say I can only imagine like some of the lines he had to say in it. But...
there's a really amazing scene where he's in the car on his phone trying to make a phone call, and like it doesn't go through, or Dane, who's the Quiet Man, hangs up on him or something like that, and he throws his phone, and there's like a pause, and you think it's about to like fade or cut to the next scene. And it like sticks around for a beat, and then he just goes, "Fuck!"
That's awesome.
Like, throwing his head around. I just lost my headphones
because he's
how much I got into that. But it was like a full like, and it's like.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
And then the really quick, the YouTube video I was watching for this, the guy just goes like, "Yeah, that's what playing the Quiet Man's like."
Well, I mean, that's the thing is that like. And they don't cut it any differently when there's absolutely no sound. So these already kind of like awkward scenes where the camera's lingering a little bit too long on people and is kind of like sticking around after the scene's over just a little bit too long are made all the worse because it's just like you don't even know what just happened in
Yeah.
the scene. Like you don't know what
Yeah.
you don't know where they're going. You don't know why
There's-
he's like staring angrily at this person or something like that.
There's that amazing shot that Ricardo loves of like 30 seconds of just slowly panning
What was the
establishing shot of this
of
club.
the club? It's like we get
It's just
it.
like and guess what? With the sound on, there's nothing extra in that scene. It's
Oh,
just
man.
it's just this 30-second
It's
shot where
the
we just
club.
slowly zoom in.
Still the club.
Very
We got
slowly.
it. Nothing's
Yep.
happening.
Yep, we're in the club.
Yeah, and the ending was just
Nonsense.
Nonsensical. And guess what? It's worse with the
That's what I
sound.
heard.
So yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I don't know how deep it like.
I
almost feel like
I
we
have to go into this at least a little bit. I have to just
I was gonna
play
say,
with
I
this
feel
like
like we
this
could
sound.
all right. You
almost
got a
do
5-minute time
spoilers.
limit.
A spoiler cast?
spoiler
Yeah, you know
cast
what?
of Quiet
Yeah, let's just do
Man.
a spoiler
Oh.
cast. Let's just do a spoiler cast.
We haven't done it in a while. We haven't done one of those in a
We
while.
wanted
We
to do
should.
Spider-Man, but we never got around to it.
Yeah.
We won't get around to this one either, so just go ahead.
Yeah, like we can do.
Let's
We're gonna do this weekend. That's the only time that we're gonna have to do a spoiler cast
Before our D&D session. There we go.
Which one? Oh, before the
on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm down. If you guys want to talk about the
now
Quiet Man
Now
spoilers,
it's on the fucking recording.
now it's
so
on.
we
It's
have
on the
to-
recording,
There
so
we go.
all of
Yeah,
our
well,
all of our
alright, fine.
fans won't let us.
I just don't
All
want to
right.
have like a super long podcast and be all
Amber,
about
Amber can be in on that because she's not here tonight. Yeah, I'll just say this: that the Quiet Man was very terrible. It was terrible to play. It was terrible to watch. It was boring. It was outright bad. There's that. I got to talk about that one boss fight really quick, which is that one boss fight where this game is just like every enemy you just mash X on, and all the enemies just stand there watching you hit that guy until you're done hitting him, and then they come up and you hit them. Except for the boss fights, which arbitrarily require you to do very specific things.
Mhm.
Except for sometimes they don't, but they don't explain what you do need to do, and they're all bad. But like the 4 boss fights the game has, the worst one ever is like 3/4 of the way through the game when you're fighting like the drug lord dude. You have to have him go through a set of like charging attacks, but you have to dodge out of the way, but you can't use your dodge move to do it,
Or else
and-
reset his animation.
or you can't move, but if you move too if you move too early, it resets his animation,
Yeah.
and if you move too late, you get hit by the attack, and then you reset his
For
animation.
sure.
So it was the most infuriating thing. That was the part that I got the maddest at, and Ethan played that part. And I
And
think
I got
you were, the
mad
one
at
that,
it,
you were the one that beat it, right? I can't
Well,
remember.
because then I think
Yeah, I think
eventually we
so.
found out, which maybe is the way you beat it all together, is that you can still, if you like, be through dodging and hitting the guy and not doing any damage, you can charge your quiet mode, and then you can activate it slightly early when the guy's charging,
Yes,
and it'll slow it down just enough that you can sidestep out of the way of it, but it's still pretty
Just
fast.
it's really
And then-
fast.
and then you just punch him a bunch.
And then you
Yeah,
punch him a
do
bunch.
that. And it seems like there were attempts where you would do it like 4 times and he was still alive, and then like for some reason arbitrarily
Unlike
on
the
like
last time I
last
did it
one, it's
twice
like you
and
did it
he's-
twice, and he's like, okay, you beat him, you do what you want.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows?
It's
Yeah.
it's a shame.
It's a bad game. It makes no
I gotta
sense.
say this.
And what did you guys say?
This is me.
Is that
I'm doing the face that the mom or girlfriend or
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
makes, like over you.
And that's a whole other thing.
Uh,
Anyway.
Oh yeah, mom. We didn't even talk about mom girlfriend.
mom girlfriend.
All right, look, Quiet Man thinks really likes this girl because it reminds him of his mom. Who knows?
Because they're
Like
played the same
literally
time.
because they're
Same.
played by the same actress, and it's not at all a like accidental thing. It's not at all a like, oh, that's a coincidence.
So
It's
there's
like
a lot
um,
of
that's
uncomfortable
it.
moments in the game where it's like, is this his mom? Like, is this his girlfriend that he's reimagining? Like, I don't know.
who can
Who
say?
can say?
Who
But
can
anyway. Do we have anything else to talk about? Ethan has like
Uh,
a couple
Ethan's
of
got one
games
thing.
on here, and Matt has another game on here too. It's almost like
Oh.
we're gone for a week.
All right, so Beat Hitman 2. That game has a great ending
Hitman
level.
Oh yes, I've heard the ending level's amazing in that.
Ending level's really cool.
Amazing is a strong word. I think it's definitely at the top of all the ones there. I think it's just the setting is really cool and just like, man, I don't feel bad killing any of these people because they're all
Yeah.
assholes.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
even though you do get penalized if you kill them, so I didn't. But yeah, that is a really good game. I went back and started playing through some of the Miami level, doing some of the extra story missions there, and now I'm going through them, trying to beat all the story missions for each one, which is its own set of challenges. But
have you gone back? Just out of interest, have you gone back and played any of the Hitman 1 levels?
No, I have not.
I mean, you beat that game too, so
yeah,
so
I
there's
played a
no
lot
reason
of that.
for you
I
to
mean,
do that.
I guess
but...
I could. I heard it's good and it levels up your stuff later on, and you unlock more
Sure,
things.
sure.
But I just never got. No, I just haven't gotten around to it.
We did watch you attempt to kill Sean Bean. You did kill Sean Bean, I guess.
I did.
You
but I
did kill
didn't
Sean
escape.
Bean. Did not escape.
But the hit was done.
Did not.
That's a fun one.
It's the hit that counts.
I tried the multiplayer mode. It is weird. It's not how I want to play Hitman. It's a little too fast
we saw that on
paced.
stream. It was
Yeah.
not. It did not look like the way. Yeah, it did not look like the way I would want to play Hitman.
It seems
but
like a neat way to play the game, but yeah, just trying to like go around and kill someone at the same time. It's like, well, that person killed it. Oh shit! Well, I don't have like my thing completely set up, or whatever. Or
Don't you like lose points for being seen
You don't-
and
you just
you just
or
don't get the kill.
you just
like
don't
if
get
the
the kill.
body's found. or
you
if
you
it's-
lose points for killing non
probably yeah. I never did.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, you lose points for killing
non-target people.
yeah.
Anyway, I lost every time I played that. But yeah, I don't know. I really like Hitman 2 a lot. It makes you want to like keep going into those levels and keep learning different ways around it. Like all the little gimmicks on each level is really cool too.
It
like,
looks like a very good expansion to the first
Yes.
Hitman.
which isn't bad.
Yeah.
That's not a negative necessarily, but it's also like it is more of the same. There's nothing introduced in this game that's like, whoa, that's
No,
crazy
it's like, oh,
different
cool, I can
from
hang out.
the-
Well, there's the whole like hang out in bushes a lot easier.
Oh
and
yeah,
and
you can
stuff.
blend in, which makes
Some parts are very easy.
certain areas more easy, but easier.
easier.
But yeah,
But then there's that in the mirror, and like, but yeah, other than that, it's not a whole lot of new crazy things, but it's still good game, still a really good game.
Yeah.
I played a indie game called Florence. Which
now I've heard of this.
Yeah,
What is this game again?
Annapurna made it. It's just a like indie game about a girl who moves to New York and falls in love. And it's,
Aww.
like-
Oh, this I do remember this.
yeah. It came out I think earlier
I was
this year.
gonna say.
I think it might have came out like maybe February or March or something like that.
Okay.
It's really good. It is like $3 on whatever mobile device you have. And it is maybe like an hour play session. Like it's super short. Sort of
Really?
like, yeah, it's really short. It's like
Damn.
maybe a movie, maybe like a little less than a movie. Very simple, but I think what really makes first off, the art style is really good. The animation is really fluid. The music is phenomenal. I think it's really good.
Okay.
And then the other thing that kind of makes it stand apart is there's no.
What kind of art? What kind of like style is it?
It's kind of like it's kind of sketch, but
Okay.
sketched with colors, like colored
Okay.
sketches. But the animation is what kind of makes it a little bit more than the actual style. You look at the style, and you're like, oh, that's fine.
You need to see it.
And you see it in
You need to see
motion. The thing that does make it stand apart is the fact that it's not told with any dialogue. Oh, that's a lie. There's like slight dialogue, and there's like maybe one or two
Is
lines.
it Simlish? Oh, okay.
No, it's actually English. It's English.
Follow.
Huh?
Woohoo!
Woo! What can I think of do? And then it's the way you interact with the stories. Like almost every pane or like chapter is a different way of interacting with it, but it's a very innovative way to kind of like connect you with that story. For example, there's a part where she goes on a date with someone, and this is probably one of my favorite examples, is to represent the dialogue tree. It's like a puzzle piece of like a circle, like together, and you have to take the pieces of the circle and put them together, and there's like maybe 5 pieces, and as you go through the date, there's less pieces as you get. And as you keep going to the end of the date, there's like almost like a whole piece, and then you kiss because it's like, oh, you finally made that connection. It's so easy to talk to this person now. And it's a very good representation of just like, oh yeah, that is what it's like to be in like a relationship of like, oh, I'm really watching everything I say because, you know, I don't want to freak this person out or anything. And then after a while you get more comfortable, and then it moves on from there. And they use stuff like that, like they set up mechanics early in the game and then use it later on in the game
Okay.
to show emotion. And I've never seen a game display emotion in a way through gameplay before really like this. Even though
That's really cool.
Out.
Yeah.
Press F to pay respect.
Yeah, press it. Yeah, exactly.
Press F to pay
What?
respect.
But
What platform is this on again?
it's on all mobile devices.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good phone game. Again,
For like an
I
hour?
highly recommend it.
What's up?
Hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, hour, 2 hours. You can plow through it. If you wake up in the morning or tired, just play. That's kind of what I did. I was just like, well, I bought this a while ago. I'm gonna see it. I didn't know how long it was, but I beat it in like one sitting, like super easily. It's,
Oh wow, yeah, this looks really good.
yeah, it's a really good game. It's made by Annapurna Interactive, who's made like a couple of
Yeah,
those
they,
other.
I mean,
like,
we
really,
played we
Is
just
Donut-
played a game.
Did Donut County do it?
Donut County was published by them. I feel like I just played. I'm totally blanking on.
They made a whole bunch. I mean, besides
They published a whole bunch of games. They've done a whole bunch of things.
I gotta look it up because it's bugging me because they've made a lot.
Yeah. Well, the Annapurna is the publisher, I think.
Oh yeah,
they don't.
Gorogoa.
Yeah, Gorogoa.
What Remains of Edith Finch.
Yeah, that's a publisher. They don't. They don't
For
develop all those
Switch,
games.
it's published. It published
Yeah.
Gone Home on Switch. Kentucky Route Zero TV edition.
I thought
Which
they
is that out?
did. Oberdin. Kentucky Route Zero is still not done
It's
yet.
crazy to think that.
The game has been 7 years now in the making, I think. I mean, games take a long time. That's
The Switch version.
but
of Gone
it's
Home.
been a long time on that one.
I didn't know
Yeah.
Flower came to iOS.
Artful Escape coming.
The
to-
Artful
I
Escape,
remember
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we looked at
Anyway,
something like that.
yeah, but they make some good games, and this continues to.
Florence seems
or
really
publish
cool.
some good ones, but
Yeah,
yeah,
publish.
definitely pick it up. I think it's well worth the small admission and time. It is an emotional journey. It's very good.
That's cool.
And then I played today. Red Dead Online
I
dropped for
came
me.
in while you were
Yeah,
while
I was
you were
playing with it.
playing
So
a
I
little bit
got
of
through
that.
the. So like all the rest of Red Dead, but I didn't really want this part to be this way. Is it's very slow at the beginning. I mean, it takes like there's like maybe an hour.
That's really weird considering
Hour
that, like you
intro.
would have already played the
Yeah,
2-3 hour intro, 4 hour intro in the
kinda
game
does the thing
already.
where it's like now you have to play this intro again, and it teaches you. It's like here's how to hitch your horse. Here's how to ride faster. I'm
And-
like, dude,
but,
this is like in the main game.
Are those significantly different than the way you do them in the single player?
100% the same. I think the reason
That's
is that they're
interesting.
thinking some
And by
people
interesting, I mean
might down
bad.
the line buy this game and just play the
Like
online.
just standalone?
Not standalone, but just
Oh.
buy that part. Like in GTA Online,
Yeah.
it is like completely standalone in some
Mhm.
ways. Like you just hit a button, it's like okay.
Yeah,
now
and they
online.
definitely teach you. They kind of have a similar thing in GTA. That's kind of what put me off of it. Besides the fact that early on GTA Online there wasn't much going on with
Yeah.
it. One of the other things that put me off for it was that it was so slow at the beginning.
Yeah,
Like it's just like here's a bunch of mechanics that are very similar to what you were doing before.
yeah,
Anyway.
and that's
But
kind of
GTA Online was hugely popular.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
So
well,
what
eventually,
they'll do with
yeah.
this thing?
it seems like a lot of cool framework in this beta so far. Like I created a character, I went through the whole thing, and there's like you get a camp, you get to upgrade your camp, you get to pick out your different emotes and all that good stuff. You get to join in like some kind of sucks. You can't. It doesn't seem like you can pick a mode because here's like a battle royale mode. I wasn't
Yeah,
really
I
figuring out how
heard
to play that.
I heard that it's like that's the thing is people are saying it's cool, but like it needs a standalone playlist. Like
Yeah,
it's
It's just randomly you'll get set up in there. There's like co-op missions, which is actually pretty fun because then you go into an area and you see all these people like interacting with the systems and like breaking the game systems together, which is fun. I really like it. I think I'm gonna play a little bit more of it. I've kind of committed myself to trying to beat Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so I've tried to stay away from Red Dead. So
Cool.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna
Well,
try to
because
beat
you
that.
have it
interesting
until,
that
like
it-
January or
Yeah,
something.
Okay,
until
yeah.
January.
I was just about to say that's a weird. You had the two games and you chose that one first, but then I was like, oh right,
Yeah,
I
'cause
forgot
of
you have a
'cause of
time. Give a
Otherwise, I
time.
would probably play Red Dead first because I do enjoy that game a lot. Although I have gotten to a point in Odyssey where I'm just like, man, I keep wanting to play this game. Like I went to bed and was like, I want to keep playing, and I stay up to like 2 a.m. But
I want to play it.
it did take a long time for me to get like, all right, I really want to get into this game. But it's good. It's very good.
What would I? Is this a Westworld? Is this what Westworld is like?
Yeah, pretty much. Like you can imagine, it's like everyone just breaking everything that's meant to be there, and like everyone acting like assholes. Yeah. Although they do give you like an honor system, which I don't know how that affects things. It's like if you're going on.
Yeah, I think I've seen articles where they explain that.
Yeah, I need to look
because,
into
like,
it more.
it's, I guess not very well
Oh,
conveyed in the
something
game.
not very well conveyed in a Red Dead Redemption 2. I didn't know that was possible.
Wow, I've heard that it's a very well conveyed.
Yeah. Under a bunch of menus
Gotta
and
take
holding
'em to
down left trigger, right
to
trigger,
the fence.
pointing to the left, and then you can do a thing.
Gotta take to the trapper.
Yeah.
To the fence.
To the butcher.
to the butcher.
Speaking earlier, Florence and mobile games. I've been playing a cute mobile game. It's called Marching Orders.
Okay.
Or Marching Order, I should say. I'm just gonna play the song to this game because I think it's a pretty good song.
Is it a marching band game?
It is indeed a marching band game.
Oh, I have heard of this game. All right.
Of course it's gonna have just...
Anyway, it's a fun little game. It's made by the people who made Snipper Clips.
Video game.
Oh, really?
Oh.
So it is, which they did mobile games before. They actually did the Super Flash Brothers cartoon series on Newgrounds.
What?
Which, yeah, I have you heard of that before, or?
I feel like I have.
I think I have.
They had Egoraptor starring in their videos. He was one of the voice actors for. That was back before I didn't know who Egoraptor was as like a, like
awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, the Super Flash Bros. They're probably all those videos are probably really dated now, but back in early 2000s, they were like I thought they were amazing, and I wanted to make Flash videos based off of stuff like that. And they made little videos and games, and yeah, they apparently made several mobile games, and then they made Snipper Clips for the Switch. And I love Snipper Clips for the Switch. And then recently, like literally like a couple months ago, I found out that they were the ones that made it, and I was like, wow, that's really crazy that like this thing from my Strong Bad email and other Flash video days has now come back as this like thing that I'm into as an adult in gaming. And then they just posted on their Twitter that they made this new game. It's actually a very simple little game. It's got cutesy animations like Snipper Clips.
It looks neat. We're watching the trailer for it. Oh yeah, the song.
No.
For some reason, that was like the next video that queued up immediately.
That keeps coming up on my history now because we watched that.
Like, everyone likes this video. Everyone.
Anyway, it's a very simple game. It's basically just it's a simple logic puzzle. It's just like the classic thing of like the tiger has the trombone and he wants to stand next to the chameleon, and then the crocodile's like, I work best if I'm behind the cymbals, and the cymbals is being held by the parrot. And so it's like you got like kind of like okay,
sounds like a very simple room escape puzzle.
It's a very simple game. There's two modes to it. There's one that's the casual, the normal mode, which is just like three people, three animals, and the instructions are very simple. The hard mode is where it gets more interesting because there's like 4 or more animals, and you have a timer that slowly ticks down, and basically you're just trying to get the longest streak you can within that timer of keeping like the marching, getting the correct answer multiple times.
Utterly charming.
And every time you get it right, you get a bonus to your time, but you still gotta keep going.
Do you ever play Haunt the House, Matt?
No.
It's got a little ghost in it. I didn't know they made that, but I played that game, or actually I watched.
No, I that's one of theirs, but I've not actually played any of their mobile games before.
This is actually I played it or watched it play on PC. It was cute. It's a cute little game.
Yeah, it's their games are fun and cute, and this one's very simple. But it's only like $2, and I think it's got great music and a great art style.
Snipper Clips in Smash.
Snipper Clips in Smash. That would have been a great character.
They are a spirit or whatever.
They are a spirit, but they're not a.
They're not. It couldn't even get an assist trophy.
I know. I was like, it's like the ranking is like spirits. Like this is all the trash we just put on our thing.
The random people.
Here's an assist trophy. All right, you're like a side character in a major
franchise. Oh, like Waluigi, like a side
Waluigi,
character. Okay, yeah.
Why
like
do we
Waluigi.
exist? Just to suffer. Master Miller is a spirit.
Oh, it's actually kind of perfect for where Miller needs to be based on Miller. I love how Kojima just shit all over Miller. Like he's introduced in 1 as being this kind of cool. Actually, he's introduced in Metal Gear 2, I think.
Yeah, one of the
and then in Metal Gear Solid 1, he's like, yeah, I'm this gruff guy. It's like actually he's been dead the whole time, and it's like, and then we're gonna go back in time, in the later games and have him be a character. And he's gonna be an absolute asshole who sucks and just whines all the time. We're gonna like shit on him.
He's been through some shit.
Yeah. Why do we exist? Just to suffer. That's the games. That's all the games.
That's all the games.
That's all the games.
Considering all the games that we've been playing, I think that we did a pretty good job there of not taking too long to talk about it all. All right, news. Time for the news.
News time.
Ricardo, this new one is big for all you streamers out there.
Yeah, I'm
like
not gonna
us.
be streaming these games because that's not how my streaming setup works. But Nintendo, remember how they were like, if you want to share our content with YouTube videos and streams, then you need to be part of this creators program and you can split the monetization with us or whatever. And they were like, and everybody was like, this is fucking bullshit. And then Nintendo now is like, you're right, because they're ending the program.
We'll stop.
Yeah, so it was launched in 2015, lasted 3 years.
I forgot about this.
It says it granted.
Yeah.
It says here in this Polygon article, it granted registered users 60% of the advertising revenue for videos containing content from Nintendo games. System worked in parallel with a second agreement with YouTube, where videos with a certain amount of Nintendo content would be flagged. Creators could keep their video live by adding Nintendo advertisement to their videos, with proceeds from those videos being split between Nintendo and YouTube. So yeah, pretty
So what does this actually mean? Does this mean that there's like you just can't get monetized at all anymore, or does this mean just like you can monetize?
Like that, it's. I want to say that the way that all the people seem to be angling is that it's not gonna be, like they're just not gonna try to get money from that content anymore.
Cool.
I think
That's good.
decided that it makes more sense to just. It makes more sense and is better for them to just have people being able to openly and freely enjoy their games and share their enjoyment of their games.
Yeah.
Which I think is an interesting, not interesting timing. It was probably timed. It's probably timed very in accordance to Smash
Bros.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess they're and I wouldn't be surprised if someone within Nintendo somewhere was like, we want this to be successful in the fighting game community, right? It needs to be streamable. Because there's streaming rules. This is under YouTube videos for this program, but it is also like, it was very harsh on the streaming side of things too, where like you either couldn't stream it at all or you couldn't make any money on it. Like it was like very, it was very restrictive on streaming. And I know that's like a big thing in the FGC area. So yeah. That's cool. That's good. They should have ended that a long time ago, but I'm glad they ended it now.
Looks like they still have a lot of like rules around their stuff.
Yes,
I'm
I'm
open.
sure.
It's like, yeah, you could just monetize on one of the methods separately specified by Nintendo, including like Facebook's game streaming stuff,
Twitch, Twitter, YouTube.
You know,
I don't know how you get either Twitter, but
yeah, I don't know how you get money.
Amplify
Periscope? Periscope, right?
I guess.
Get on that. Get on that Twitter boy.
Twitter boy.
Twitter boy.
I ain't no Twitter boy.
It's time to say goodbye to the Steam Link.
Ethan could probably start a reselling program with the number of Steam Links that he's purchased.
I just bought one, and then I saw this article and I bought another one.
Okay, there we go.
Gotcha. See, for example, no, that was something else. I feel like there was some small peripheral every time it goes on sale. You buy like another one of it.
Steam controller.
No. Chargeable batteries?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong because
I do buy like Xbox One controllers.
Because I feel like I remember when you purchased like a Steam Link, and I feel like it went on sale again. And you're like, I just got another one, but
I didn't do that. No, I've only ever owned one.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm really sad about this because we used it last Saturday, and I think it's great. There was no
yeah. So basically, the Steam Link is a way that you can stream pretty much directly to a television.
Yep, it's literally just a video sharing device. That's all it is. It's just streaming video from your computer to.
And they're discontinuing the device.
They sold them all at $2.
The Polygon article suggests that it might not mean that like they're done making these kind of devices, but that in its current incarnation, the Steam Link is dead.
Makes sense.
Apparently, they're continuing the app, the Steam Link app, which is a software version, which runs on TVs. Some TVs come built in with this software. So they're gonna keep supporting it for that reason, but
There's also the end. I
hardware
think
is
they got it
just
working
gone.
on iOS. Remember there was that whole thing where they couldn't get on iOS for a while, but I think
Yeah, I currently just says Android only on this
still Android
article,
only.
but maybe I think they have it available. I think I should say, I think they have it working on iOS. They just, I think there was some sort of
type thing. Like
well, I don't think it was ever. No, I don't even think it was ever published like that either because I think that it didn't meet Apple's guidelines for. I don't know what the exact guideline was that it got.
I think it was something about not being able to have a store in a store. Like Apple wanted the cut of. If anything was bought on Steam through that like streaming thing, it's a weird thing. But anyway,
it's a weird thing. Yeah,
it seems like a lot of work to just take all the store out just for one place. But I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, the point is. It's going away. I feel really sad because it was a really nice like little HDMI extender.
Yeah.
Because
I have a great I have one that unfortunately hasn't worked, but not because the device is broken, but because my network is wonky in this apartment and I need to get that fixed. But it was great when it was working when I did not have a wonky network.
Yeah, and as they specified in this article, it says Valve dropped the price of the Steam Link way down post this publication. Individual devices now cost $2.50, which is 95% off.
The shipping was like $6 or $7 though.
Oh fuck! And the
yeah,
bundle,
that's how I bought mine.
The
I think
bundle,
mine was like $3 when I bought mine.
Controller, or what's the bundle?
The bundle is the Steam Link controller.
Yeah,
which is $35.
But they're all gone now. The Steam Links are all gone.
All right, well,
just sold out.
They're gone.
R.I.P.
They're already gone. This is already in the past.
That's just the
I'm
way
curious
it
if
is.
new one will come out with 64K or some support like that. It'll be like it because it just needs, I think, the power to run that. So I don't know. This is a nice little tiny box.
You gotta get that artifact on the big screen.
Yeah, I mean, I can play it now. I just play Artifact. I can play any game. It's cool because you can also Alt Tab out of Steam and just kind of do anything on your computer, and it'll display it there.
Whoa.
Yeah. Also worked with all my Xbox One controllers. I was surprised we were able to hook up an Xbox One controller and a PlayStation 4 controller to
pretty
it.
quick.
And it worked fine.
As people who have been through controller hooking up purgatory
Controller
for
madness.
certain games,
that was fairly painless.
This is something that I just thought we would touch on. The Federal Trade Commission is like, we're gonna fucking do a full investigation on loot crates in gaming.
Loot crate.
Yeah.
Loot crate.
There's a lot of there is a lot of.
Who thought this would ever happen?
There's a lot of like minutia involved in here, but it eventually comes down to the fact that they are like, let's just fucking. We need to see exactly how.
I guess yeah. Game people push their luck for a while. I mean, I don't think this is necessarily going to mean equal.
I think they're probably still going to
like
have it. I think it's just going to be like.
I mean, I'm going to say this: if certain places in Europe said that loot boxes aren't gambling, this administration certainly isn't going to say that they're going to say they're gambling. But I think that I think we're already seeing a trend of publishers moving away from loot box style stuff, but they really pushed it a little too hard there because eventually they burned bridges in their audiences and even in some governments. So yeah,
the ESA made a statement that said, contrary to assertions, loot boxes are not gambling. They have no real world value. Players always receive something that enhances their experience, and they are entirely optional to purchase.
They can enhance the experience for those who choose to use them, but have no impact on those who do not. Bullshit.
Yeah. Let me talk to you about Clash Royale.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
I played plenty of Clash Royale and bought loot boxes from Clash Royale. Let me tell you, when I stopped buying loot boxes, my experience drastically went down.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't think it'll be much. I think what at maybe the very least is they'll protect the kids.
I was gonna say at least. I mean, the pressure was already on, but at least like that pressure continues to, hey, don't be shitty about the way that you make stuff available in your game. You know? At least be a little bit more transparent about it, you know?
Yeah, totally, right?
Because the thing is like one of the things here is that they talk about it not being gambling. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Most of the time in gambling, you know your odds of things happening. A lot of times you don't know exactly what
For
the
loot
odds
boxes.
are for
Yeah, I was
loot
gonna say even
boxes.
in like China, I think it's like legally you have to put the odds.
Yes, they do. They added that, and they added that in China.
So maybe they'll at least put that out here. So it's like, okay, well.
Yeah, I just
You know
think loot
why?
boxes need to die. But I mean, I don't think that
Exactly.
but I also don't think they should be like. I also don't think they should be like through some sort of weird law that they'll just find a way to get around
Well,
it.
but
I don't
the
think
thing
that's
too is it's like, you know why they don't list it? Because if you hear that legendary skin that you're trying to go for has a 1 in 500 chance of
Yeah.
dropping,
You're not
you're
gonna-
gonna be a lot less likely to actually try to buy a loot
Totally.
box. 'Cause
Yeah.
But there are still
hopefully
people
they-
who will.
Totally, for sure. I mean, people buy it. People buy anything. People buy anything. People buy huge collector's editions of video games that they don't know whether it's going to be good or not on when it comes out, and not actually seeing the physical thing that they're buying beforehand, just having an advertisement tell them what it's going to be. And I'm speaking specifically of everybody's favorite
Okay.
train wreck
Here's the
of a
thing.
game, Fallout 76.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
This is straight up false
Yeah,
advertising.
this totally is false.
This is not like,
straight up
oh
false.
no, the game doesn't work. We're sorry about that. It's like, well, okay, you got the game, whatever.
Mhm.
This is like we put. So basically, let's run this down.
Let's run this. Yeah, run the story. I'm running the bathroom. I'll be
Fallout
right back.
76. There's a Power Armor Edition, $200. People got it. You'd order it. It said it would come with
It says
a
here
armor helmet. This
yeah.
is a very small text.
Yeah, besides an armor helmet, some collectibles, a map, and some miniatures, it straight up says Canvas. What does it say?
West the duffel bag.
Canvas West TTR
Can't-
double. Oh, West Tech. Excuse
West
me.
Tech. Okay.
Canvas West Tech duffel bag.
I feel like old people are like I can't read the
I
font.
won't click that. and then people finally started receiving their Power Armor Edition,
Yeah,
only to find,
which is delayed.
which was delayed, only to find that the quote-unquote canvas duffel bag has actually been replaced by a nylon duffel
Yes.
bag. To which, after, like, there was one notable example of someone contacted the Bethesda support line saying, hey, like, this, you said it was a canvas duffel bag. This is clearly nylon. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And they said,
That's
The-
this is the part that gets me
and
the most. Like,
Bethesda support straight up says, we are sorry that you aren't happy with the bag. The bag shown in the media was a prototype and was too expensive to make.
Where does it say that on there? Prototype subject to change. Does it say that anywhere?
I mean, maybe this small font, but I don't think that's
that
what
just
it says.
Bethesda
Well,
company.
and
doesn't
that's-
say that anywhere.
and that's like a relatively common thing, I would imagine, to like here's all the stuff we're gonna have in the thing, and we don't know the final details of like which what
could
the
just
materials
Say
will be.
update that, or you
or
said
you
that
could
it
No,
was
no, no.
like-
I 100% agree. I'm just saying that, like, I bet that's pretty common in production terms to just be like, here's what this is gonna look like, and it's like, oh, actually, no, it's not gonna look like that, and that's when you need to like send an email out to everyone who bought the thing, or update your ad, or like,
Mhm.
or do a bunch of stuff, like.
But well, then and see, and so in the wake of this, Bethesda is trying to do some damage control, not doing a fantastic
great job
job
so
of it.
far.
So first of all,
Yeah.
there was a Bethesda comment at following this that Polygon reached out. They said, "We're investigating the response from the Bethesda Gear Store support team, and we apologize to the customer who took the time to reach out. The support response was incorrect and not in accordance with our conduct policy.
Yeah, it did not
Unfortunately,
look like.
Due to unavailability of materials, we had to switch to a nylon carrying case in Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition. We hope this doesn't prevent anyone from enjoying what we feel is one of our best
Got
collector's
that last
editions."
PR point at the end.
God always had the PR part. This
then-
is like this is just like the Spyro one,
Oh,
where
yeah,
it's
we didn't
like
even talk about that.
there's no real thing for accessibility, but we
Oh,
did a
yeah,
great
there's
job
no
on
Yeah,
the
for those,
game.
those who
like,
don't know, like the Spyro Reignited did not come with subtitles.
Yeah.
Because the reason is there's no industry standards for video games put in the
Yeah,
subtitles.
putting
And hey,
subtitles.
maybe there should be now. Maybe some people will sit on there and be like, well, we will do some standards for subtitling in video games. Because it's not like they have TV or the FTC to do to reference. It's not
exactly.
hard. It's just they didn't want to put it in because they were lazy. Because
Yeah.
it could probably take a lot more work.
Clearly.
so you got time all that.
I mean, it might not even be lazy. It might have genuinely been a thing that they
Just
they
didn't think
forgot
about-
or didn't think about, or maybe they thought about it but they just didn't have the time, or you know,
like I haven't seen a game without subtitles in it.
Yeah, you're
like,
right.
I mean,
ever.
I 100% agree. It's a thing that you must have in at this point. As I think it's like it's an accessibility thing. I turn them on myself and I don't need them, but I just appreciate having them on screen if I'm.
Miss anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like I agree with you, Ethan, but I'm also saying like there could have been some legit reason besides laziness that this got missed in like lazy. I just don't like using the term lazy. I guess is the thing. Like that's not like there's a lot of
How about
things.
that? Cutting time to get it out in time. Honestly, seriously though, like doing basic subtitle support is you're missing out on a huge part of the audience for multiple reasons. Not even people who are deaf or anything like that. It's people who maybe are in.
I just doubt the dev. I just doubt the dev team was like. We don't have to do this. That would have been
some higher up might have done that. Maybe not the dev
some
team
higher up might have done that. Yeah, it's probably true. But I have to read. I don't know. Did you guys see the actual full statement from that? There's no industry standard thing.
No, I didn't.
Thinking of bullshit PR stuff. Listen, let me just read you this full statement. It's so good, and by good I mean it's terrible. When Toys for Bob set out to make an awesome game collection, there were certain decisions that needed to be made throughout the process. The team remained committed to keep the integrity and legacy of Spyro that fans remembered intact. The game was built from the ground up using a new engine for the team, Unreal 4, and was localized in languages that has not previously been attempted by the studio. While there's no industry standard for subtitles, the studio and Activision care about the fans' experience, especially with respect to accessibility for people with different abilities, and will evaluate going forward. That's the whole statement.
It's just like, just say it's just, up didn't put them in. We're sorry.
That's the thing that kills me so much about corporations and their like policies to never really admit fault. Like
there are some that do, but there
are some that do. But like for the most part, the standard on PR is always like, no, we didn't do anything wrong. Like just we made a choice and everything's working as intended and stuff like that.
Yeah, or it's just like, if it's we did something wrong, it's a very like, sorry you were offended while we were being so amazing. It's just sometimes we forget to not be amazing to everyone.
We put out different localizations that never gone before. You know, one of those not being American English words.
I was gonna say, and so now deaf people of other languages can still not.
Yeah, exactly. Still not here. That's basically what I.
Don't worry. All deaf people can read lips, just like the Quiet Man.
Oh yeah.
So they don't actually need
we put
to.
so much. The graphics are so good now that you could read
Spyro's
lips.
Spyro's lips. You would just be like, stupid. But so sorry. Yeah, that was Activision that said that statement,
so
and it's like.
Oh, go ahead.
It's just the same with the Bethesda thing of just like they can't like PR just can't say a thing without being and also we're the best. Like at the beginning or end or whatever it is in the statement, they have to be like we're just so amazing that we forgot to tell customers how awesome their bag was gonna be that wasn't quite what they expected.
Remember, we're good.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
Like we worked really hard on it. It's like, yeah, we know, but like
don't forget.
Maybe don't.
Also, they might. I mean, speaking of laziness, Fallout 76 is a game that has a lot of problems with it that maybe should not have shipped when it shipped. I wouldn't call that lazy either because I'm sure a lot of people worked hard on that game as well.
Totally.
It just seems that game was also rushed out of the door before it perhaps was ready to be done, or maybe they shouldn't have charged $60 for it or something. I have not played it myself, so I cannot really speak to it.
That's the thing is like I'm trying not to be too entirely hard, despite reviews and consensus. I'm not trying to be like super harsh on Fallout 76. I don't know why, but honestly, for me, it's
because you love Skyrim so much. There's fond memories of Skyrim. It's like you're just like.
My thing is that like my thing with that is like I feel like it just wasn't ready to come out. And maybe it'll be good someday. Like maybe it'll be something.
Sure, yeah. I have no desire to play it myself, but I'm not.
Very empty, and look what they've done. They made put lots of things
I think the shitty cherry on top of this is that
since
then
Bethesda
has reached out to offer like amends to people who have purchased this edition by offering them 500 atoms in-game currency, which is worth about $5. Which I saw a really funny tweet. Somebody said 500
Well, that
atoms
does-
isn't enough to purchase the canvas bag in the game, let alone which makes this really
That's pretty funny.
which makes this really like insulting. So it's like, okay, like, sorry, you know what I think the difference of this canvas bag to this nylon bag is $5. We'll split you guys the difference.
Yeah.
Probably it.
Also, I like that the PR statement. This is going back a little bit. This is something along the lines of like, unfortunately, due to unavailability of materials, it's like, the shortage of canvas that we've had recently, like that,
Dude,
all the
there was a run
mean
on
it.
canvas.
Yeah, the shortage was the shortage.
You know why?
The shortage was cheap canvas.
yeah,
Well,
the
sale-
Hey,
cheap sale went up.
California. Now they're charging for the plastic bags. Everybody needs those reusable bags. A lot of those are canvas. You know,
The can- oh, you know
there's a
what?
Big run on
the
canvas.
fires recently, all the canvas farms,
Oh, all those canvas farms.
all the canvas farms did burn down.
Yep. Only place to get canvas.
It's a very
Yeah.
sad podcast.
Uh,
What's
we
next?
talked about the Quiet Man.
Oh,
like,
this is just a little something I decided to add on because I fucking love
You don't like Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
Wait,
Three-
Rickard likes Dark Souls.
So the funny thing about Dark Souls 3 is that early in materials, including the E3 that it was announced at, there was a lot of like showing characters stabbing like hollows with a coiled or ceremonial sword and either creating a bonfire, or if you scroll down there's like the exhibit where it's stab the
Oh,
hollow
I saw
with
that.
it, and
I was
there
at that
like,
exhibit.
Huh?
and there was like black liquid coming out of it. Well, data miners and Dark Souls 3 players have found the unfinished systems in the games, which revealed that at some point you would have actually been able to drag certain hollows to areas of the games and create your own quote-unquote cult bonfires, which act similarly to bonfires in the game, but also might have interacted with like the covenant system in different ways and stuff.
That's interesting.
So that's just a really cool thing about like this mechanic that seemed like it was going to be a big selling point and then just kind of faded as the game got closer.
Yeah.
And to the point where
That-
nobody really even remembers it.
Yeah, that happens a lot in games, but it's funny that this is so prominent. I didn't realize it was this prominently featured in like the E3 advertising.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I remember like the first trailer in Dark Souls 3 was like the Ashen one stabbing like a hollow and then like fire erupting from like his like
Oh,
and then I
weird.
remember
Huh,
like
wow, I
Fonty
totally
Video
forgot
was
that.
like, does this mean that we will be creating a bonfire in the game? People who actually watch
And
Fonty
then-
Video
and then-
videos
and then-
know that's
Yeah.
we'll get that joke. That's for about the two people out there that
I've watched his videos, but not that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember actually seeing the same setup at I believe it was Comic-Con. They had the same thing, and you could take a picture by it. I might have a picture of it somewhere, but I was just now I'm thinking about it. I didn't put the two and two together because I didn't play Dark Souls 3 like when it came
Yeah.
out, or had much knowledge of Dark Souls at the time. But I was like, what is that black stuff flying out everywhere? Because it was like a fountain, like it was a legit fountain they made.
yeah,
It's super weird.
It's a weird system, or which was probably even tied more into the story. Like, I'm gonna be honest, the Dark Souls 3 story, maybe not as strong as in the past games, but like, but yeah.
I mean, I think that the other people had that same criticism back when it came out, right? Like,
yeah, for
are
sure.
they relying a little bit too heavily on the? Remember the other
It is very
games,
much
like
Greatest hits.
It's a very much
Yeah.
greatest hits of the past two games, mostly the first one.
anyway,
but-
Bloodborne's the best story anyway. So
I will agree. That's a great.
No.
It's a great game, great spooky game.
Very
that Ethan almost
spooky game.
I'll beat it someday.
beat.
Ethan got to the last, right before the last boss. Like, nah.
Go for all your asses.
Well, that's all the news
Your
this week.
asses.
Coming for all your blood echoes. That's all for the news this week. So it's time to go to trailer trash.
Taylor Tate, dang old Fireman gave it a year. Get it done.
Whoa, Nader, you have. I knew you had some bad opinions, but that one would have.
Lock
Nah, it's
her
not the
up.
worst.
Oh, well, okay. Oh, wow, that's the worst opinion. All right,
Yeah.
everybody. Who wants to take a shot at pronouncing the name of this first game?
Alalot.
Aloth,
Alalot.
Alaloth.
Alaloth, champions of the Four Kingdoms.
La la la.
If you smell la 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 la.
Oh, you're doing a Lin-Manuel Miranda in the new Mary Poppins movie of Alaloth, 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 Alaloth.
Is he Bert? Who is he?
I think he's well. So I don't think he's playing. I'm not sure if he might be playing Bert, but
He's
the
his
new one.
original character, Lin.
The new-
Well.
He's an original character.
Blurt.
The new one's a sequel, so I don't know if he's playing the same guy as Dick Van Dyke did. Mary Poppins is Mary Poppins, but everybody else is, as far as I know, new characters.
True.
All right, so speaking of Dark Souls, this game is saying it's Dark Souls isometric style.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Is that what it was going
Yeah,
for?
it says like in one of these very quick captions.
Oh, I missed all those captions.
So the thing is like this game looks equal parts like interesting visually and also very generic visually because like the different character designs look very, very generic. The logo looks like a 90s like
yeah, it looks
brawler
old.
that you
Yeah,
play or something. But like you actually look at the weird animations here in the gameplay.
It almost reminds me of like original Diablo, like more frames, but like in that vein of like.
Yeah, it just doesn't have that kind of je ne sais quoi, you know? It just doesn't have that, like, kind of...
But I don't know what. The very first isometric... Oh, fuck, it's going too fast.
Yeah, it's so fast.
See if I can pause it there.
Hold on.
The very first isometric game made in the style of a class or modern RPG or something like that. I don't really know what that means.
The very first isometric Souls-like game ever made in between a classic and a modern RPG.
It's a very wordy. It's a badly worded.
And then
badly written.
Races, 40+ houses and clans to fight with their own background, alliances, and intrigues.
Okay, all right.
Interesting.
So you got your 4 classes and maybe you modify them into...
Explore, craft, gain reputation, unlock new quests in an ever-changing world. So basically that didn't say anything.
No.
And then this is saying RPG legend Chris Avellone. Does that name...
Oh, that is a name that I just.
That's like. It says
heard that
world
name.
lore, character backstories, and creative support by RPG legend Chris Avellone.
Why didn't we have a news story about him recently?
Maybe.
Interplay. He worked at Obsidian. Obsidian.
Did he leave?
Planescape Torment.
Oh, okay.
Fallout 2. The original Fallout, Icewind Dale, Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance,
like all the big hits.
Knights of the Old Republic 2, Neverwinter Nights 2, Fallout New Vegas.
So definitely has a pedigree.
Divinity Original Sin 2.
That's the South Park.
Divinity Original Sin is what I thought this game looked like at first.
Kinda, yeah. I do not like the way this devil dude looks. He looks pretty bad.
He just has random spikes coming out, like for no rhyme.
That's because spikes are hardcore, bro. Oh, he's also working on the new System Shock as well.
Very busy man.
So yeah, he's actually a freelancer right now, apparently.
Interesting.
But he does writing for games for freelance.
I don't know. I'll be interested to see more of that game. Because I think there's potential there. But
this game is not listed on one of the games he has worked on in this Wikipedia article. Yeah, how much work he did.
Or if he came in and like looked at some notes and was like, oh, that sounds cool.
So, like that would work. Might want to change that. All right.
And they're like, can we pay you to put your name on our game? Basically. Sure. Yeah. We can also use your name in the end.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to Grip Combat Racing.
Grip.
Accolades. You can see all the good stuff about Grip.
Accolades.
Alkali batteries.
Is that how you say it?
Accolades.
Alcohol.
Alkaline.
Extravagantly.
Words are hard. I just look at them and I try my best. I give it an old college try and we'll see where we land.
So this game, I think it's called Grip because your car seems to be able to grip onto.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and also if you flip the logo up and down or flip it, it reads the same. It's very clever. Depending on how you
I just see Grig when I look at the logo because I still see the G. Grig.
A Grigula. Yeah, I heard pretty good things about this game. Honestly, not just the
It looks neat. It just also looks like almost like a game out of time. You know, it looks.
Yeah,
like
looks like a
something-
Same with
Wipeout.
that. Same with that. It reminded me a lot of that game that is going to be coming on PlayStation Plus really soon.
Onrush.
Onrush, which also seemed like a game out of time as well. Of like, but
The difference
this
between
doesn't look bad.
yeah, it looks cool. The difference between like Onrush and this is that this looks like besides
still
the
racing.
cool gripping like mechanic for the races, it's still just straight up like racing. Whereas Onrush is like a weird like
Crash of the
like
things.
MOBA sort of thing. Not really MOBA, but like it's like a weird strategy racing game. Kind
Yeah.
of thing.
So apparently there was a game called Roll Cage. This is kind of a spiritual successor to.
Okay.
Maybe some of the devs
Sounds
might have
familiar.
worked
I
on
feel like I've
that.
seen some of this.
I've not heard of that game before, but that might be why this seems like a game out of time because it seems like it is
Looks
Oh, hey,
cool.
you know what? There's not a lot of these around. Every time they come out, I go, oh, yeah, another one of these. But
Man.
I don't know. I've never played any of them because it's just not my style.
Yeah. Definitely like kart racing style.
I've never
games,
heard
though,
of that.
better than like.
I'm excited to play Onrush.
Anyway, next
PlayStation
game.
Plus.
God.
Next game.
Godhood.
Godhood. This game got more interesting as it went on. Like I thought, like we started just playing because it's kind of a slow trailer, and it started happening at first.
Just okay.
They're very simple. They're pretty, but they're simple. And I thought I was like, okay, it's something like a God game, and it's like kind of maybe a little flash looking.
Then it's like
It's
a
it's
lot
bad,
of-
but it's like, oh yeah, but it's like a lot more detail keeps coming as the as the game goes on,
It
and
shows like different aspects of the society, and it doesn't. And the main crux of it is it's not just a society builder. It seems like you're building.
yes, it's not like a God game in that sense.
Yeah,
It is like
Is like
you
you're
are
literally
actually playing
building.
God.
Yeah, you're building a society around your
around
religion.
your religion, right?
So
Yeah.
essentially, you are you're a deity in the purest sense, I guess. In that it's like these are my teachings. Go do them. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. Like that's an interesting concept. So it's kind of like
Um,
RimWorld, how it's kind of like you're not in direct control of the characters as much. You're just kind of like assigning them things.
Yeah,
to
like
do.
other like Black and White and other
Yeah.
games yeah, too.
Oh, yeah, Black and White did that. Man, I gotta play that game again.
There's also that game that came out from the Black and White makers that I actually own that I can't remember what it was called. It's like
Fable.
serious. It was
The movies.
no. It's very similar to
Reels.
Black and White, and I can't
Wait,
remember
no,
what it
that's
was.
not that. What is that game? Imagine a world.
Reyes.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, Reyes is a God game too. Yeah, but it's not the one I was thinking of. It's the one where you like you play as like this like orb of water that like carves out like the land and stuff like that.
Oh, I remember what
I-
you're talking about, but I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the name of it is. I'm completely blanking, but it is like of that Black and White
Wait,
ilk.
Black and White.
But this
has
seems
great
like-
animal avatars though. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game looks cool.
Looks neat.
But it's all going to depend on like how much detail is how many like how much variation
yeah, like,
is.
this like a crazy amount of like simulation involved, or is it just kind of like on rails? Like, are these
Like,
interactions
is there
of
nuance to the different or is it literally like, no, now you are teaching this exact religion, or if there's like different like takes on like I want to
Yeah.
a peace loving like a religion around peace loving, but also to be very like focused on material goods or
yeah,
something,
like that? Yeah.
like-
Yeah,
or if it's literally just like A, B, C choice, you know?
Maybe. I hope it's something more like you could make your own, actually customize it. That'd be interesting. All right. Speaking of customizing things, what about Artifact, y'all? Look at this.
Yo, also, look at this totally like Marvel.
From Dust. From Dust is the game I'm thinking of.
I've seen that. Okay, I know what you're
Ooh.
talking about.
I was gonna say
Artifact,
the
the
new,
intro.
I remember.
Did you notice the new like Valve like Marvel Studios
Yeah,
thing
it
where
sucks.
it's like
Yeah.
look at all these instead of the fucking guy with the valve on his head
He's-
or in his
he's
eyes.
still- He's still the one with the valve on his head is still when you launch the game apparently.
Oh, okay, good.
And
That's
it
still the
plays,
one
like,
that.
weird chord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. But also, it's weird how they have
And
this
I always say
artifact.
escape before he turns around because it freaks me out. He turns around. I don't like it.
Anyway, this is Artifact. This is the Dota card game.
The Dota card game. This trailer's fine.
I'm doing everything in my power not to buy it.
Yeah, well, keep watching
Yeah.
this trailer. Look at this game. Dude.
Because
Cars
the
was-
thing is the game itself looks super fun. Like, actually.
Yeah,
play
no,
it.
I agree. From what I've seen of it,
It's
looks pretty
the
dope.
monetization around it of just never
Yeah.
being able to get any card ever. on
And the game costs
money.
money. It's not even free to
Yeah,
play.
exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I think that'd be bad anyway. But if it was free to play, I'd be like, well, they got to make money
And it's not
somehow,
even
so you
like-
buy the cards. That's fair, I guess.
But,
But like,
Hearthstone has plenty of like
$20
great
bucks. It's
free
$20
game
bucks.
modes now that are
Yeah.
single player. You get like a decent amount of
And
cards.
it's like
at the
you
beginning.
paid. It's this one. It's like you don't even pay to. You pay to play, but you more like pay to start. You pay to keep being able to
Yeah,
keep paying
you-
them
you-
to
you-
do- to
I was
play
gonna
the
say
game.
if you're playing with like
You
it
absolutely-
feels
yeah.
like very much like us going and buying that Magic starter set, and then it's like,
Yeah.
well, if you want to play more, you know, you buy this. But you could just, I mean, if you want to go in and
but
like,
imagine,
if
but
me and
imagine
Mavs
also
are-
having to pay whenever you wanted to play Magic.
it's
not whenever,
that
I
way,
guess.
though. You could play. You
You can
this
play
just
for
won't
free,
get
but then if you
cards.
want to play competitively, then you got to buy tickets
yes,
to spend in the competitive
man.
zone. Yeah, it's so you gotta buy the tickets, and then
It's insanity.
you can earn the tickets, but that takes a while. And then once you have enough tickets, you can spend a ticket to be in the competitive mode. And then if you win the competitive mode, if you win 5 matches in a row of that, then you get a card pack for free.
It seems
which
real
is-
cool.
You got the tickets, so
it takes forever.
Just that. Again,
yeah, the monetization of it seems really
I'm really curious
cool.
about it just because I like the creator of it. He made the Netrunner, so
He made the original Netrunner,
made the
not
original
the
Netrunner. But I
Who
mean, the
is
original
it?
Netrunner is still very good.
who is it?
Richard Garfield.
Oh,
Garfield.
it's
Not Richard
fucking-
Garriott.
It's the
It's Magic.
guy.
Magic, guy, yeah.
King
But I don't,
King
I
of
don't like Magic
Tokyo.
as much. Oh yeah, he did.
Oh
make
yeah,
King
he
of
did
Tokyo.
make King of Tokyo. Yeah,
Tokyo.
King of Tokyo was fun.
yeah, it's a fun game.
King of
Yeah,
Tokyo.
yeah, it's good.
But yeah, it seems cool. I would definitely
Yeah.
want to play it, although it seems
But this,
like
Purely on PC for now.
well, no, I'm saying like the asking price, like the,
yeah, I think
that's-
that's too high.
again, if I can't like just straight up like know how much I'm gonna have to spend to enjoy the game, I feel like
I know.
Yeah,
It's-
that's the
It
part
just
where
seems so weird because Valve like came out with the whole Dota model where it's like, all right, we're gonna come out and we're gonna
Free and then
produce
hats,
everything
and
is
then
free. You play that. You can everything you need to play the game and be completely competitive is free. We'll do that and it'll be great. And when League of Legends and like Heroes of New Earth were like, no, you gotta pay for Heroes, and then that changed everything. When it's like, nope, everything's free. You just join in and have a great time. And then you come out with this, which is $20, and then you have to pay on top of that. It's like, y'all.
yeah, I really
They
don't.
they should have done.
You know what they might be doing is like Dota is huge and we want
And
money.
also, I just think the fact that you put it more in terms of like I'm buying a Magic the Gathering deck to play, kind of makes it feel a little more sense. Where it's like, okay, well, you can play it, and you could enjoy it that
does.
way. But
I just don't. I just
You're
don't
not-
personally enjoy. That's the reason I don't play Magic the
But you're
Gathering or
not,
Pokemon or
you're
Yu-Gi-Oh
not-
or any of those games
you don't have the
currently.
optimal deck, and you're gonna have to
Exactly.
buy more.
So that's why. I'd
Yeah,
probably be, like,
that's the
fun to
part
play
where
with
it's
a
like-
friend, and that's it. Like I don't think I'd
Yeah,
be able to play
like the
competitively,
only
or it's gonna
the
cost
only
so much
reason I
money.
would want to play this game is to play with like you, Ethan, or someone
Yeah.
else who is into it. Because if I play against like right now, if we bought in right this second and played online, we'd probably be okay. But in 3 months, there'll be 20 card packs that are out that are have better cards in them than what is currently. Like that's what I'm so worried about happening, and it's just gonna be like, well, instantly, these cards are worthless. Like, relatively speaking.
It's cool.
It looks cool. This trailer is just okay,
It's
to be honest.
okay.
But the actual trailer itself, it's fine. It shows it's a card game.
I just feel like a lot of card games online are just not that great, and this really sucks. Like Hearthstone is like kind of the best one, and like a lot of the alternatives are just not quite up to the same snuff. Like you have Gwent.
I'm
you
hearing
have
decent things about that Magic the Gathering arena.
Let's just mention the Gathering.
Oh yeah,
But
this is
it's like-
magic though.
I think it's a different, somewhat of a different take. I'd
Yeah,
have to
really?
look into it, but it's like a brand new thing. But
I've
anyway,
heard stuff about the Elder Scrolls one too, but I've also been
Legends, I
like,
believe.
Legends.
just like much of the Elder Scrolls, very unimaginative.
Yeah.
Stuff.
All right, let's go to the next game, which actually seems kind of
Next
imaginative.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
this
this.
looks really
I like the
cool.
look of this a lot. 39 Days to Mars.
Basically, the two rich guys are like, "Hey, we should build a thing to Mars.
we should
And
build a
then
hot air balloon to Mars.
Also, apparently Earth disappears, but I don't know if that's like a
No,
metaphor.
No,
I
I
think he's saying
think
like,
it
Earth
climbs so
disappeared
high
because we're
up.
going.
Wait,
so
this
high
is
up.
written as if it takes place in March 1876.
It's
So
a-
this is very much like written like a voyage, like,
it's like what's the
80 days.
yeah, but what's
Yeah,
the
it is.
author?
Jules Verne.
Jules Verne, like a very
Yeah.
Jules Verne style.
like sci-fi adventure of like we're using steam technology to build a boat
Yeah,
to Mars.
these
like
gentlemen explorers, like
yes, these rich gentlemen explorers.
figuring out
It's a co-op game where
science.
you and a friend will solve puzzles to make sure your boat to Mars is
A-okay.
heading the right way and
Yeah.
doing things it's supposed to do.
Xbox One. Interesting. I don't know if it's only coming out on that. 'Cause I'm
called
noticing
39 Days to Mars, which maybe that is how many days you have. I don't know if
Maybe that's how many days it
that
takes.
way, or if there's like 39 stages maybe to do. It's obviously not very clear in the trailer, but it
No, I think
looks
it's just
neat.
the trip to Mars just takes 39 days.
It looks very cool.
Yeah, it looks like a fun little game. A little kind of like plain drawings, but like
Like the background
like-
is one solid color.
yeah,
And then
trying
there's-
to kind of drawn in an older style, I guess you would say, with like old paper like looking design.
It works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
me
like
too.
it. I like it a lot.
All right, guys. This game.
Next
Fisherman's
up,
Tale.
A Fisherman's Tale.
Okay.
Man, speaking of super imaginative games,
This
this is
it.
a game where it's like, man, this is a game that really works for VR, like a
Yeah,
lot.
Like, I don't know how you would do this otherwise.
You could do it, but it wouldn't be nearly as mind blowing. I don't
Yeah.
think. Like you could have the camera be controlled with a stick in this game. It would work. It would just. I think.
But also to consider the
Yeah.
hand grabbing and like looking at things, I don't know if that could actually work.
So
any other way.
the
Yeah.
crux of it is it appears you play as a fisherman on his houseboat, and then in the inside of the inside of your area is a smaller version
Of your like a model of your house.
yeah, model of your house, and
and then all of a sudden you are in the model of your house,
Yeah.
and you are outside
The model of
your
your
house
house.
is the model. Like
Yeah.
it's like this like recursive mirror
yeah,
of
so like if you put like something small into the if you have something small and you put it into the small house, it'll appear like large in your place. There's like one point in which water sprays into the miniature house, and then your house fills up with this water. You're like building a boat to set sail in the water. It's like so many weird like
yeah. There's a great moment,
mind-bending
or there's a great
situations.
moment in reverse where he has this giant fork and he like he holds it above his head, and then he looks in the small house, and the normal sized fork is
Yeah.
now in the
then
small
he
house, which now then he picks it up,
gets
and then
it.
now he has a normal sized fork in his hand.
It's insane.
Yeah, it just looks. It's really
And it's
crazy.
also like really
you gotta watch the
creative
trailer.
about using that small space, like room scale. Like it's just you got a small room to
Yeah.
walk around. Like you don't have much area to walk around in, but like you can just solve so many puzzles because of the whole interdimensional thing. Like it looks.
And I
Pretty
think
sick.
another thing that sells it is the art style is looks like very wood carved.
Mhm.
Everything.
Yeah, even the main character
Yeah, even
looks like
the
a puppet.
The fisherman kind of has this very blocky look to him, but not like blocky like.
I mean, he has strings. You can actually see the strings at
Yeah.
one point of like the character's hands are being like moved by strings.
It seems like such an interesting concept, and this trailer does a really good job of like showing the cool stuff. Like again, who knows? Maybe a lot of these big moments in the game will not like
Or the
are
shit-
like few and far between,
Yeah.
and it's a lot more like menial stuff. But like the things that it hits in this trailer is really really cool.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find a VR game that looks good out of VR too. Like this is one that's actually impressive both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it is a really strong art style.
Yeah, man.
It's very clever.
I hope this game. I hope this game comes out to more than just PSVR because I don't want to stick with those Move controllers, and I can't imagine that not being great. I'd rather have.
Yeah, I mean, currently PSVR is doing a great job of landing some awesome
They
exclusives.
really
Like,
are. They're yeah, they really got a lot of great.
you know, they have
games going for 'em.
the weakest hardware, but they are doing a good job with the software, which is honestly what matters the most
Yeah.
when it comes to it.
It
I
truly
mean, and-
does.
I really want to play Moss. I've heard that's really good. I wish
Yeah,
I wish
wanna
I
buy
wish
that
I'd have
game
VR.
too, because it just came out on PC, and I want to pick that up.
Yeah,
I mean, and
that's,
the,
I've heard
the
it's
thing,
amazing.
The thing that PlayStation VR did was that it managed to get the like it's still not a huge install base, but like comparatively to other VR platforms,
it's so much easier than like an Oculus, where it's like, oh, I have to have this gaming PC, and then I have to make sure I have enough USB ports to make sure they're all 3.0 to make sure I can get this basic thing going, and it's just like
it's just cheap.
It's a hassle,
it's
and it is also it's also like was $200 on Black Friday to get the
that was I had a sale for the
it was
PlayStation
Astrobot
VR
and Moss, I think.
Yeah, it was Astrobot and Moss, which is a great package for that.
Yeah. You could just play those. Then and you got Tetris Effect, and you got all those other games. Yeah, and it's still no one that has Resident Evil VR too.
I really want to play Tetris Effect even without the VR.
I do too. But also
I just want to throw it in there.
But I'm also like, what if it comes out in VR and I don't have a VR headset that can play it? No. So I've been waiting. Anyway,
this is really cool.
This is a cool looking game.
Something that is not as cool but is an interesting concept, I suppose, is this game Breach, which is I guess in alpha right now.
Yeah, it was hard to get a feel of what this game.
Looks like some sort of dungeon crawler type brawler.
Yeah,
more actiony.
Yeah,
it's not nothing, but it's just a hard.
The
tagline is "Welcome to the Dungeon Brawl," which is. It looks to be like. Yeah,
but is it like third person, over the shoulder, top down?
Like
is it first person?
I think it's like, a third person action game. It appears to be a third person action game, class based. It seems like with 4 players. So like that's the thing is like the trailer shows the characters doing a lot more like action-y stuff than say like maybe not. I don't know. It is a difficult game to get a grasp on what it is.
Yeah, because it was all like cinematically shot with all these kind of like different cuts, so it was a little bit hard for me to get a feel of like what's the game part, like which part
there's like a guy. There's like the sword guy.
It's obviously an engine, but I don't know what it's doing.
And the sword guy is like doing like kind of Devil May Cry, God of War style like combos, like pop-up launcher combos and stuff, but like a lot of the spell casting classes do seem like they're just like rooted in place doing stuff. So I don't know what kind of game this is, to be honest. But I don't know. I was interested. It looked interesting to me.
Yeah.
That's about all I have to say.
I thought it looked okay. I thought the art style. I thought that the monster design looks pretty neat. But
not terrible.
But yeah, I don't know. It didn't quite sell me on it.
Yeah.
What about Just Cause 4? Another trailer that we got to watch for that with One Man Did It All live action, baby.
Yeah. So
this is fine.
This is a military, like a military leader, commander. She goes
possibly the villain of this
probably.
Game?
I mean,
I don't know if she's the actual villain or just some other. You know,
it's implied. Yeah, I don't know if she's the main villain or she's definitely a bad guy, a bad lady.
A bad lady.
And she goes in the hospital and is like, "What's going on? Why? What happened to my base?" And then the guys are all fucked up and they're just like trying to explain like how the base got blowed up and it was one dude, and it has its moments. Like it's okay.
It's
the humor
as far
in here
as live action
is pretty is not terrible.
They show the goofy ways you can blow stuff up, which is fun, and then how you escape, and it's got some good moments.
The best part in this trailer is when one of the guys has a tattoo that says Rico on it, and then he like covers it up. Yes,
and then you're like, yes, it's me.
Yeah, like, oh yeah,
I want a tattue of me on someone.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's
yeah.
okay.
I mean, this acknowledges how batshit fall.
At least it's
Just Cause
is a trailer for Just Cause that at least finally like leans more into the silliness of the game as opposed to just being like, oh, the cartels.
Yeah, like
you had to wrest it away from the region or whatever.
Yeah, like all the other trailers are always just so like, man, this is crazy. What's
serious?
Yeah, it's like, nah, that's not how that game ever is.
Yeah.
All right, guys, what wins this week's trailer trash?
I feel like there's not. I feel like there's not really a question.
Yeah, I feel like there's a clear winner.
I think there's.
I agree. Let's just all say it together since we're all in agreement.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Fisherman's Tale. did it. We got it. I was actually thinking about saying something different just for fun, just for funsies.
I was
And
wondering if anyone was
instead,
gonna
it
do
just
that.
caused you to say it a
Just-
little slightly later.
No, I knew A Fisherman's Tale was the one, but I just wanted to see if we would all just say something
Now you're gonna
different.
put a ring on it because you knew it was the one.
And it was the
VR
one.
game for you.
One VR game for me. I think that game it would not work without VR. Or I think it is exemplified perfectly by the VR.
Yeah.
I do not want to buy a VR headset to play it. I just want it to be out on a non-VR thing so I can play it.
Or to
I,
have
I
think it
don't
would-
really-
honestly, I don't think it could work on VR though. Like I don't.
You could do it. The
to
games have
have
done
a-
weird perspective
or,
stuff.
I mean,
It-
Matt,
it wouldn't be as it wouldn't be like it's gonna be way more impressive like looking at the room and looking up and seeing your giant self. 100%, I agree. But like it would actually like there's nothing in the game that would stop it from working. Pick up physics objects with a
or
controller.
That's
perhaps,
true, I
Matt,
guess.
what you really want is just someone with VR closer to you that will also have the game and
True,
just
it's
let you play
true.
the game.
I don't have any gamer friends up here though.
No gamers.
I have a friend of a friend who has a VR
Wow.
friend of a friend who has a VR headset, but he has the Oculus. It's not gonna have
It's not gonna
Fisherman's
have that,
Tale.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna be able to go to his house and play that for an hour or two, or however long that game takes to play,
Why not?
because it's not my
Buy-
friend. It's a
buy-
friend of a
I
friend.
was gonna say buy him lunch and say.
Let me play your game.
Let me play
Go-
VR.
Give him $50. Go watch a movie or something.
$50 to watch a movie, man.
That's a lot.
I mean, I know California's expensive, but that's
you gotta get the drink,
IMAX.
like the popcorn.
gotta
Yeah, you
get
get the
the Atmos
IMAX,
theater.
and then you gotta get a drink, and then a snack also. I feel like that's.
You
50,
could get to
I feel
50
like
bucks
you
at a movie
could get
theater
to
to
50
try.
bucks.
You gotta play a little
I mean-
arcade game before while you're waiting.
Yeah, you got to do Big Buck Hunter.
Yeah.
When we go see Spider-Man, we're gonna go see it at the nice fancy movie theater with the big reclining chairs and the button to bring a waiter over and bring you a drink.
Damn.
I feel like most theaters have that now.
La-di-da.
A lot of theaters have that. Yeah, sure, but we got one that's down the
Also-
street where I can walk to it. And it's got a bar in it, and I'm
Also,
gonna
apparently, NorCal gamers rise up. You're out.
NorCal-
Gamers rise up.
Gamer Nation,
Gamer Nation.
the joyous gamer has logged on, and it is time for us
Shut up.
to log off. And what just happened?
Nothing.
I'll tell you
Nothing.
off stream what just
Nothing.
All
happened.
right.
Okay.
People are laughing at me,
No,
and
not you.
I am not happy
Not you.
about it.
Just not.
Alrighty, that's fine. Let's move on to the end of the podcast. The next segment, which is called the end of the podcast, which is the part where I say, go to our website, pixellegends.com. You can check us out if you've been listening to this podcast. It's on iTunes. And we should probably put it on Stitcher and the other things too. I don't know why we haven't yet, but it's just not on there. But it will be eventually. If you give us a rating and review, we'd really appreciate it. And if you want to watch the podcast live or see any of our other fun Twitch adventures, you can go to twitch.tv/pixel_legends. And that is where we stream every Thursday night around 8 o'clock. Pixel_legends is also our Twitter account. So check us out there. And you'll see notifications when we stream and all sorts of other fun stuff. That's it. That's all. That's all the time we have. It's time for us to be quiet now. And we'll see you next week.